السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. رب زدني علما. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم. Welcome you all to the class of اللغة العربية. And alhamdulillah, we're still in the revision of of our book 1, and inshallah today we'll continue with the revision, and inshallah I hope that today we will finish those notes of book 1. Yesterday we were doing all the pronouns, attached pronouns and detached pronouns and so on. Today we will continue with the rest of the topics left in book 1. And after we finish today, inshallah, we will read the key next week. It's the same thing again, but it's just more unit by lesson, from lesson 11 to lesson 23, inshallah ta'ala. So the next topic which we are going to deal today is early predicate and late subject. So we know that the subject should come first most of the time, but what happens is when it is nakira, it is not allowed for you to bring it in front. Like, for example, ar-rajulu fil bayti, this is the mubtada, and this is jarun wa majrun shibu jumla khabar, right? Now fil bayti rajulun, because it's not allowed for you in Arabic to start a sentence with nakira, right? You have to bring it later on. So this is called mubtada muakhar. This is late mubtada. This late mubtada, and this is khabar muqaddam, right? Khabar which has come first, khabar muqaddam. So this is mubtada muakhar and this is khabar muqaddam. This is what it is, and this is how it is. We should always remember that, like he says here, a shibu jumla, that is a phrase which is either a jar majrur or a zarf, can never ever be a mubtada. It can never be a mubtada, right? Even though sentence may begin with it, even though we have fil baiti here, it can never be the subject. It can never be the main hero of a sentence, right? Because the mubtada should always should never be a shibu jumla. Shibu jumla, right? Like, for example, amam al masjid. Amama is zarf in itself. So this is zarf, shibu jumla, and khabar muqaddam, and al masjid is mudaf ilayhi. But where is the mubtada? Mubtada is here. Mubtada wa muakhar. So what do we translate this as? A garden is in the front of the masjid. The garden is in front of the masjid. That's how we translate, right? We don't translate in the house a man, because in Arabic we are putting it late because there's a rule like that. But in English there's no rules such. We can start a sentence with nakira also, in indefinite also. We can start a sentence with indefinite also. So there's no issue in the Arabic language, in the English language. But in Arabic, you have to bring it late because hadiqatun is nakira. So we are not allowed to start a sentence with ma'rifa. That was one topic. Next, we had in lesson 13, we learned about the plurals, the broken plurals and so on. It was a big lesson. Lesson number 13 was a very big lesson. So this is jam'un, and there are two types of plurals we learned, right? And this is one is jam'un salim and jam'un taqsir. Jam'u mukassar is also called, it's also called jam'u mukassar, and this is salim. Salim again is of two types. So what is salim? Salim is something, right, where the original word remains intact, like it says here. The singular word stays intact, like mudarrisun, you just add a una here, right? If it's feminine also, it's the same thing. Mudarrisatun, you just add atun here. I mean, you don't make changes in the word itself. So it is salim, it is sound, right? It is sound, it is safe. It is safe. While here, broken plural, you change of the word. You change the word, like talibun, you're changing the whole structure of the word and you make tullabun. You don't say talibuna, right? Qalamun, akhlamun. So broken plural, there's no rule as such why broken plurals come in a language. I mean, in Arabic, there's no rule how to form broken plurals, but we just need to learn the plurals as and when they come. Right? Talib is tullab and qalamun is akhlam. You just need to learn them. We just need to learn them as to how they are, right? So the plurals are two types, right? Again, sound masculine plural and sound feminine plural. The sound plural is divided into two types. What is it called? Jama muzakkar salim and jama muannas salim, right? Jama muzakkar salim and jama muannas salim. This has a una ending. Very easy to understand. Una, muslimuna, and we'll learn in the future. I mean, It's that the sign of it being a rafa is wow actually. It's not dhamma here, it's wow, because it is Jama Muzakkar Salim. And how do we make it majrur or mansub? Both have the same form. It's ina, right? It like it comes in the Quran. Innal Muslimina wal Mu'minin, right? Innal Muslimina wal Muslimat. Innal Mu'minin. Because of inna, it became mansub. So wow becomes turns into a ya. So that is a sign of it being a mansub or majrur. The ya. So una becomes ina and ina. So it's like Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina. Majrur and mansub. Similarly, here atun is added to make it plural, like muslimatun, muslimatun. 90% of the time, there are no broken plurals for feminine, right? If it has a ta marbuta, the plural is always atun, right? Almost 100, I think. Like so, there's no issue at all to know the plurals of these words, like sayyaratun, sayyaratun, muslimatun, muslimatun, right? There's no chance for it to go to broken plural at all, because once you get a ta marbuta, the plurals are made by alif and ta, right? Alif and ta, that's it. Alif and ta. So this is very easy to understand. The plurals are muslimatun, muslimatun. Similarly, muslimun, muslimuna. So how do you know whether a word has a broken plural or sound masculine plural? Some words have both. Some like kafir, kafiruna is also there. Then you have kufar also, and there's kafaratun also. And there's a kafara is also used, right? That is also used. So there are like many pros. So we just need to learn them as the vocab. There's no logic as such. Why? I mean, grammar part. There's no grammar part of that. We just need to understand. So that's why dictionaries also give the plurals, right? Give the plurals. So dictionaries help you to understand the plurals also. Some nouns have multiple plurals, like we learned. Akhun, for example, has two plurals: ikhwatun and ikhwanun. Right? Ikhwanun. Some say there's a difference between these two. Ikhwatun is generally used for blood brothers, and ikhwan is generally used for normal brotherhood, Muslim brotherhood kind of ikhwan. Right? Some say there's a difference between ikhwatun and ikhwanun, but it's okay to use either way. I mean, there's no hard and fast rule for that. So these are the broken plurals, and the patterns of broken plurals. There's many patterns. There are like so many patterns, but they are like I mean, we are learning few of the four of them here. Fu'ulun, a pattern of fu'ulun, like najmun, it becomes nujumun, shaykhun, shuyukhun, then there's fu'ulun pattern, kitabun, kutubun, rasulun, there's no need to go into the patterns also, because whenever the word comes, kitabun, kutubun, that's enough. I mean, we go like the vocabulary goes, right? Rasulun is plural is rasul. We don't look at the pattern as such, because it's not important. Jabalun, jibalun, rajulun, rijalun, tajirun, tijjarun, fu'alun pattern, talibun, tullabun, right? So these are the four patterns, right? Fu'alun, fu'ulun, fi'alun, fu'alun. He keeps telling these patterns till book 3 also. I mean, I mean, there's so many of the patterns. He just divided into all the 3 books, right? So we cannot complete all of them. What we should be concerned about these patterns are the diptote ones. Yeah, mamnu min asaf, like sadiqun asdiqaw. So this is one diptote star. This is important. Af'alun is also there. Waladun, awladun, ammun, amamun. That's fine. But af'ila'u is a غير منصرف pattern. غير منصرف ممنوع من الصرف. So صديق أصدقاء طبيب أطباء. Right? So it was actually atbiba'u. Then those two bars came together and became atibba'u. Right? Atibba'u. This is one important af'ila'u pattern. And then fu'ala'u pattern. Fu'ala'u. Akhun, ikhwatun, fatan, fityatun. This is fi'latun pattern. This is unique because this pattern takes a ta also, right? This pattern takes a ta, but we know that masculine names shouldn't have a ta. But there are some plurals which are still masculine, but the plurals are feminine kind of, right? Akhun, ikhwatun. This is not feminine. This is masculine itself. This is an exception, right? Fatan, fityatun, right? Fityatun, young men or young boys or whatever. Yeah, fatan fityatun. See, fityatun is uh, masculine. It's not feminine. Right? I mean, this pattern is exception to the rule that ta madbuta defines femininity. So that is why whenever we want to find a gender of any word, we go to the singular. Okay, anytime we go to the singular, we don't judge by the plurals, because plurals are weird. Sometimes they take ta, sometimes they don't take ta, and they break all the rules of grammar, right? The plurals. Then we have for allow. This is also another diptote pattern, right? Ghair munsarif pattern. Zamilun, zumalau, faqirun, fuqarau. Doesn't take tanween, doesn't take kasara. Doesn't take tanween. So af'ilau and fu'alau. These are the plurals, patterns of plurals. So 8 of them: fa'ulun, fa'ulun, fa'alun, fi'alun, right? Af'ilau, af'alun. I think the major ones here are this, and this, because this is unique kind of, right? That's all. I mean, that's all. We just look at the words and stuff. But this pattern, if you remember, afi'alau pattern and fa'alau pattern, these two patterns, and there are, I think, more too or something. Fa'alau, uh, mafa'ilu and mafa'ilu, those two also, 4 or 5 patterns, they don't take tanween, right? They are ghair munsarif patterns, right? I think 5 or 6 patterns are there, which are ghair munsarif. Next, we learned about the plural demonstrative pronouns. That is the demonstrative, the plural of hada and hazi is haulai, right? Like haza mudarrisun, this is a teacher. Hadihi mudarrisatun, this is a female teacher. And then haulai mudarrisuna, these are teachers. And haulai mudarrisatun. So both masculine and feminine, the plural is haulai. The plural is haulai. Hada, hadihi, the plural, haulai. Right? I mean, both are, this is what it is. Hada, hadihi, haulai. There's no separate plurals for feminine and singular. I mean, feminine and masculine. Both are same. Haulai. Similarly, zalika, tilka, for ba'id, for the far things. And these are for ulaika. The plurals is ulaika, zalika, tilka, ulaika. Like zalika talibun, tilka talibatun, ulaika tullabun, and ulaika talibatun. And we should notice the star here. These plurals are for rational beings. These is haula and ulaika are only used for aqil, that is people and jinn and angels, right? They are not used for ghair aqil, right? Ghair aqil, and we learned in 16th lesson about that. Ghair aqil. So haulai and ulaika are always used for, forget about angels and jinns. Major times we're talking about humans only. So humans are the ones whom we speak 90% of the time. For haulai these, and ulaika these. In for them we will use singular feminine, right? Singular feminine, ghair aqil, we will use singular feminine. So this is what is important, that haulai and ulaika are used only for human beings. I mean, majority of the time. There are angels and jinn also, but we don't talk about them much, right? We talk about humans a lot. So haulai and ulaika are used for aqil, aqil beings, right? Intelligent beings, rational beings. Next thing he says is mudaf and mudaf ilayhi for nat, right? For nat. So kitabul mudarrisi al jadidu. So whenever we want to bring an adjective, we should never put it in the between, because mudaf and mudaf ilayhi always come together. So the nat for either one of them should come later on, right? The adjective should come later on. So how do you find out? We look at the endings, and we look at this. I mean, anyways, this we just look at the endings, like kitabul mudarrisi al jadidu. So this, because it has dhamma, this will go here, right? Like it showed, this will go here. Kitabu, the teacher's new book. So it'll be the teacher's new book. This is how we're translating, right? The teacher's new book, right? This is how we're translating. But sometimes we need to bring an adjective for this also. So we want to say the new teacher's book, right? The new teacher's book. So it will be the new teacher's book. This is how we translate the new teacher's book. Right? We look at the case endings of the naat. The case ending of the naat tells us if it is mudaf or for mudaf ilayh. Sometimes uh, we want to bring both. So we'll say kitabul mudarrisi al jadidu jadidi. Al jadidul jadidi. Right? Al jadidul al jadidi. Okay. And the adjective here has alif lam, but the mudaf doesn't have alif lam. So we know that the mudaf doesn't take alif lam or tanween. How do we define the its definiteness on indefiniteness? Is by looking at the mudaf ilayhi, right? So that is why the one of the forms of ma'rifa is al alamu wal damir wal ishara al mawsul wal idafa. Idafa is also one type, right? Idafa. So this becomes mudaf because if this is mudaf, this also becomes mudaf. So when you become an adjective, right? When you're becoming, because of this became ma'rifa, and because this, the adjective should also be with alif lam. Right? We should not say that, oh, this doesn't have alif lam, so the adjective should not have alif lam. No, no. This is marifa because this is marifa, and so because this is marifa, so this is I mean, all right. I mean, this is how it's happening. First, we look at the mudaf ilayhi. If this is marifa, then this becomes marifa. And then when you're beginning an adjective, then we should bring a marifa adjective, right? So the major for an ilafa, the major cause for marifa and nakira is the mudaf ilayhi. This is the major player here, right? And if this is true, if it is nakira, this will also be nakira because there's no sign. I mean, how will you look at this word and say this is marifa or nakira? There's no alif lam, there's no tanween, right? That's the main purpose of stripping away the alif lam and tanween from these words. I mean, from the mudafs, because we want to go back to this place, to the mudaf ilayhi, because the mudaf ilayhi is the real owner of the thing, right? This thing is just possessed, and this is the possessor. So that's how it is. So next thing, yes, that's what is the main topic here, that the endings will show which adjective belongs to which word. Yes, yes, the endings. Right, endings will show, but sometimes even the endings are ambiguous. How? You have a preposition here like fee or something, right? Fee or something. You have fee here, right? You have fee here. Now this becomes what? Fi kitabil mudarrisi al jadidi. Now how do we know that which belongs where? We don't know. Right? We cannot tell now. Right? We cannot tell now because this also has a kasra. This also has a kasra. It's very ambiguous. And so what the author can do is avoid this kind of construction, right? If you want to say in the new book, in the new teacher's book, he will avoid this. He might say in the book of the teacher, which is new. Alladhi huwa jadidun, something like that, right? Which is new. Bring an allazi here. Instead of an adjective, we can bring a whole sentence, right? To avoid this, because it'll create confusion then. Because if this is also having kasra, this is also having kasra, right? So how do you know the new teacher's book or the teacher's new book or whatever? Next, aqil and ghair aqil plural, lesson 16. We learned about this, lesson 16. Lesson 16. So what happens in aqil? Hada mudarrisun, this is a singular. We just make everything plural. Haza's plural is haulai, and mudarrisuna is haulai. Both the subject and predicate are plural. Right? Both the subject and predicate are plural here. Plural here. Then you have ghair aqil plurals. Ghair aqil. Now we don't put haula here. We say hada kitabun, hazihi kutubun. So this is what is important. This is feminine singular. Right? Feminine singular is used here. Feminine singular is used here. Feminine singular. The plural of irrational is treated like a feminine singular. Kullu jama' li ghayri aqilin muannas. It is feminine singular. Muannas. It is ghayri aqil muannas. Kullu jama' muannas. So that is why anything you bring, either you bring an ismul ishara or you bring an adjective or anything you bring, I mean, which is related to the plural of غير aqil, you should use a singular feminine. Why is it done? I don't know why it is done, but I mean, it just simplifies things for Arabs, because to keep saying hawlai, I mean, maybe it was difficult for them. So all plurals of ghair aqil were treated as feminine singular, and that helped them maybe in the language, right? And ghair aqil for feminine also. And this is hazi because this is also hazi. I mean, this is also feminine. This is not because of the plural, but this is because of the plural. Feminine singular is used here. Right? Plural of irrational nouns. So ghair aqil plural, lesson 16 is what we learned. The treatment of plural irrational noun as feminine singular is regardless of the gender. Right? If it is ghair aqil and it is plural, regardless of it is masculine or feminine, this will be feminine singular itself. Like see, kutubun, this is masculine, still we are using feminine singular. Sa'atun, this is feminine, still we are using hadihi itself, regardless of the gender. Right? Kitabun is masculine, but its plural form is treated as feminine singular. And similarly, in sa'atun, this is feminine, but its plural is treated as feminine singular itself. So all plurals of ghair aqil will be treated as singular, feminine, feminine singular. Always, always, always. Sometimes people break these rules sometimes, and it comes in the Quran also. Sometimes they used haulai or ulaika for I mean, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used haulai and ulaika, or I think one of the two, for some ghair aqil plurals, right? So it is used rarely, but this is the most of the time, majority of the time, this is how it should be. Majority of the time, this is how ghair aqil plurals are treated as singular, feminine, muannas, muannas wahid. Okay. غير عقل plurals, like for example here, al-mudarrisu jadidun, like a predicate also, al-mudarrisuna jududun. Here, so al-qalamu jadidun, al-aqlamu jadidatun, not jududun. Jududun is not used for غير عقل. Right? We use jadidatun. Jadidatun. Similarly here, as-sayyaratu jadidatun, as-sayyaratu jadidatun. So this is a unique case for Arabic language, and it's not there in English language or Urdu for that matter. But this is how it is in the Arabic language, that all غير aqil plurals are treated as singular, feminine. So he gave more examples of sentences. أين المدرس الجديد هو في الفصل. أين المدرسون الجدد هم في الفصل. So we use مدرس, the plural مدرسون, جديد plural جدد, جدد, and هو, the plural is هم. But here أين الدفتر الجديد, where's the new notebook? هو على المكتب, it is on the table. So أين الدفاتر, the plural of دفتر is دفاتر الجديدة, right? Singular, feminine. Once more. Yes. For which? This one. Examples. Okay, I'll do this again. Well, here it is a singular, aqil, right? Al-mudarrisun jadidun. Al-mudarrisu jadidun, right? And we made it plural. It is al-mudarrisuna. Right? Al-mudarris became al-mudarrisuna. Jadidun became jududun. Jududun. Right? This is very simple. Right? Everything is made plural here for aqil. For ghair aqil, what we do is we make this plural. Al-qalam, the plural is al-aqlamu. Fine. But for jadid, we don't go to plural now, because this is ghair aqil. We make it feminine. Jadidatun. Simple. I mean, jadidatun is how we make it feminine, singular. We don't say jududun here. Al-aqlamu jududun, that is wrong. We say al-aqlamu jadidatun. The pens are new. While in English, the translation is the same, but in Arabic, we have to be careful. Next one, as-sayyaratu jadidatun. This is feminine because this is also feminine, right? The car is new. What's the plural of sayyaratun? As-sayyaratu, as-sayyaratu, sayyaratu, the cars. Now, the plural of jadidatun should be jududun, right? We learned before that the plural is jududun, but here it is same, jadidatun itself. Why? Because singular, feminine, feminine, singular. These two boxes, feminine, singular, right? Because kullu jama muannas. Alhamdulillah. Similarly, has sentences here. أين المدرس الجديد هو في الفصل. So mudarris, the plural is أين المدرسون الجدد هم في الفصل. Here everything is made plural. Now here what we do is daftar, the plural is dafatir, but jadid plural is not judud now, because it is غير aqil. We use al jadidatu. Yes, hazihi for all, for the qarib, and tilka for the far. For the near things, we'll say hazi. For this and that will be used as tilka. Yes. And instead of saying hum, it should have been hum, right? Notebooks, plural of notebooks. hum, but no, it is here now, right? Here. Here ala al-maktabi. She is on the table. The translation, we won't translate this as she now. Because we know this is just for Arabic, so we will go back to the English original. We say they are on the table. Right? They are on the table. Because that's what hum means, right? They. Hmm? So we just understand. Even if you don't translate, we just understand that this is talking about the notebooks. That's why we use here. أين الساعة الجديدة هي على المكتب, right? Whereas when you watch, it is here means it is on the table, but the saatu plural is as-saatu. أين الساعات, but جديدة will be left like that because غير أقل is singular, feminine singular. الجديدة itself, right? الجديدة itself, and هي على المكتب is also left same. هي على المكتب, but the translation changes here. They, this means they now. Yeah, because we know we're talking about the sa'at, not one watch. There are many watches. There are many watches. So we need to be careful here. We need to be careful and use here again. I mean, in a similar way. Right? Okay, so this is any after all this also, this has very little practical usage when it comes to understanding the text, right? Because even if it was used to singular feminine, right? We need not become shocked seeing singular feminine here. That's what is our goal, right? And confuse it with something else. No, that is what we want. We don't want ignorance of this rule, but it's not so important that it will change the total meaning of the sentence. It will not matter as such. Here al maktab, I mean, if you read a sentence and it is written here, so which not, who's she now here? Why would they use here, right? Because they're talking about the fatir here. And we have some examples from the Quran here. وَبَشِّرِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, and give bashir, bashara yubashiru, give glad tidings to the ones who believe, and وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and who work righteousness, do good deeds, salihat. Anna lahum, that anna is on that for them, jannatin. So the singular is jannatun, garden, and this is the plural, jannatin. And Allah says, tajri, jara yajri is to flow or to run, right? To flow. Min tahti ha, beneath which rivers flow. Beneath what? Beneath which? Jannatin tajri min tahtiha al-anhar. Jannatin tajri min tahtiha al-anhar. And notice I talked about this allati, allazi also thing, right? Because this is nakira now. We need not bring allazi now. He just, the relative clause is starting here itself. Because this is also nath, right? We are describing the Jannah, right? Because this is nakira, I mean, like we said yesterday, that if it is nakira, we need not bring allazi here, right? So Jannah, I think he just brought a clause. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought a clause. Jannatin tajri min tahti al-anhar. The gardens which, I mean, beneath which rivers flow. Tajri min tahtiha. Right? So, asilatul mausul, the relative clause can come without allazi also if the thing being described is nakira, right? Like we talked yesterday about it. So this is a better example, right? Jannatin tajri min tahtiha al-anhar. So this is also feminine here. Next, tilka hududullah, right? Those. So tilka will be translated as those now. Why? Because we are talking about hudud. Hadd is the singular, hudud, limits of Allah. Right? Those are the limits of Allah. فَلَا تَقْرَبُوهَا, do not even approach near to it. Right? Don't approach near also to it. Right? Don't think about, forget about going beyond the limits. Don't even approach near to the limits. Right? Stay away far, stay very far from the limits of Allah. So Allah says, tilka hududullah. Tilka, he used tilka. Instead of ulaika, use tilka. وَأَتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ أَبْوَابِهَا. Right? Wa'atul buyuta, enter the houses from their doors, because previously they had some, when they were muhrim, they used to enter by making a hole in the wall. So Allah says, Wa'atul buyuta min abwabiha, because buyut is a plural, ghayr aqil plural. So he says, abwabi, hunna should come here. But because this is ghayr aqil plural, he said, abwabi ha. Alif Lam Ra, tilka ayat. Again, ayat is a plural of ayatun. Ayat is a plural. Right? Tilka ayatu. Ayatul kitab al mubin. Right? Tilka instead of ulaika. Those or these. Right? These are the verses of the clear book. إذ قال لأبيه وقومه ما هذه التماثيل. Right? When Ibrahim said to Ibrahim al-Islam, said to his father wa qawmihi, and to the people also, to his people also, ma hadihi, instead of saying haulai, he used hadihi. And this is a wisdom. If he had used haulai, people would have argued, oh, why did he use the akhil? So he's agreeing that the idols are akhil, but he smartly used hazihi. Right? I mean, we know he didn't speak uh, Arabic, but I'm just saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly quoted him by saying hadihi, right? Instead of saying hawlai. And tamasil is the plural of tamsil, images, the photos, which people worship. So what are these photos? Right? Ibrahim al-Islam said, allati, which, allati again, not the plural. The plural is allati, right? Allati again, singular, feminine. Antum laha akifun, to which you are so assiduously devoted, right? You are doing i'tikaf, you are like devoted to these pictures. Just what are these pictures you're doing, so right? So this is also singular feminine, this is also singular feminine, and this is the plural of tamsil, images, photos, pictures. At that time also they used to worship photos, right? Even today many people. وَتِلْكَ الْأَمْثَالُ نَضْرِبُهَا, and those are the examples, or these examples, right? Amsal, masal, the plural is amsal, examples. Nadribuha, we present, right? Actually, daraba yadribu, to is to hit, right? So examples are also hit. It's like we strike an example, right? Striking an example. I mean, that's how it is used. But nadribuha is to present also, right? And so this is also غير aqil, plural, right? Amsal is the غير aqil plural, so this is also singular feminine. لعلهم يتفكرون, so perhaps they may give thought. They may فكر يفكروا. Tafkir is to think, is to ponder. Right? So these are many examples you'll find in the Quran filled of غير آخر plurals. Right? So last but not the least, we learned numbers. Before غير ممنوع من الصرف, of course, we learned numbers. عدد. So this was kullu jamma muannas, very important, right, for understanding why we are using singular feminine here. Next, we learn 3 to 10 numbers, 1 to 10 numbers, adadun, and there are separate rules for 3 to 10, 1 to 2, 3 to 10. Then we will learn in book 2, 11 to 99. Right, we will learn all these, inshallah ta'ala. Numbers are tricky for many of us because it's problematic. Oh, it'll take time, inshallah. We will, once we do book 3, inshallah, even anyone can be, I mean, inshallah, we will be able to do so, inshallah. Book 3 is huge, 300 pages of book 3. It'll take a lot of time to finish, inshallah. It took me 3 to 4 years, 5 years, inshallah. I mean, it'll take time, right, inshallah. Time is what is required, right? Like we finished book 1, similarly, after we finish book 2, we'll learn so many verbs, and then book 3, similarly, we learn a lot of verbs going on, inshallah. And I used to think so. When I used to study book 1, I used to think, when will I learn? Inshallah, that day will come if we stick to the plan. And so now I feel I don't know anything. Right? I mean, when I look at the students who are studying in Madina University and they're reading classical books and something, I'm like, I don't know nothing. I know nothing, kind of, because they're able to read so fast and understand everything. And I'm like stuck finding out meanings, and I can't read classical books. So I have to keep looking at the dictionary. There are thousands of verbs, still I don't know. It takes time, inshallah. But after like 2-3 years, doing this. That's why I'm teaching, right? The first time I taught, I was like clueless how to teach and stuff, because I forgot all the rules after learning. Right? Teaching helps you solidify all the concepts properly. Right? Next time you understand more better, more better. The next time you teach, the next time you teach. Right? So the best way to learn is to teach. That's what I thought. Inshallah, it helps us. Book 3, when I first started, was like, what am I teaching? I was like telling some random stuff and here and there and trying to understand. But the second time, this is what he's telling about. The third time, more easier. Fourth time, even now when I'm doing book 3, I'm remembering so many things which I forgot. Inshallah, we should not be hasty in seeking knowledge. Hasty is what causes disappointment, and when we become disappointed, it leads us to quit. Right? Knowledge is not something which we'll get in one day. Right? It needs years, years. Many people become hasty, and shaitan comes to them, and they are unable to persevere. Perseverance is required. Right? And alhamdulillah, these days it's very easy to gain knowledge, but the people are more lax nowadays. Right? And the more lax. We have those who look at videos since, I think 7, 8 years now, but hardly, the 96 videos there. But many people don't watch. They watch 1, 2, 3 or something. 10, 20, and then they quit when it becomes hard. Right? Inshallah. But quitting is easy, but persevering is a little difficult. Inshallah, we can do it. It's not that difficult. Also, once we do it, once we get a grip of it, we forget that we learned the language. It'll be as if we knew the language since a long time back. Subhanallah, that's the beauty of learning any language. Right? It becomes so easy, inshallah. Okay, before we begin the numbers, please re-log in again. Jazakallah. Inshallah. Allah will make it easy, inshallah. Ameen, inshallah. Okay. Okay. We have the numbers here. Okay, let's speak about numbers. A'dadun. Numbers adad are fully declinable nouns. The nouns being counted with a number is called ma'dud. Right? So we have two parts of any thing, any countable noun, and the number itself. It's called adad and ma'dud. Right? Adad and ma'dud. The rules change for every few numbers. So wahidun, ithnan, salatha, arba, khamsa, sitta, sab'a, samaniya, tisa, ashra. These are the 10 numbers, and inshallah we should try to memorize them. Inshallah, if not memorized till now. Now, here we should solidify these rules, because once we go to 11 and 12, it'll become confusing later on and we forget these rules, right? So basically, numbers 1 and 2 are separate from the rest of the numbers here, 1 to 10. So 1 and 2 has two different rules, and 3 to 10 have different rules. So what has 1 and 2? 1 and 2 comes like a nat and man'ut. So he says nat and man'ut. So when, like an adjective. So when you're putting an adjective, the gender should be the same, the number should be the same, and so on. Like akhun wahidun, akhawani ithnani, ukhtun wahidatun, ukhtani ithnatani. Right? It should be like an adjective here. Adjective here. Akhawani ithnani, ukhtani ithnatani. Right? Like an adjective. But for 3 to 10, they come as mudaf and mudaf ilayhi. Right? Mudaf and mudaf ilayhi. Salasatu ikhwatin, arba'atu ikhwatin, khamsatu ikhwatin. They are mudaf and mudaf ilayhi. So there are 2-3 rules to be careful of. One, the number comes before. In here, the number comes after. See, akhun wahidun. We never say wahidun akhun, because it's an adjective, and we know the adjective should come later on. Isnani, wahidatun, isnatani. Right? From 1 and 2, it comes later on. But from 3 to 10, like in English, the numbers will come before. right? So the first thing we should remember, the numbers will come before the ma'dud. What is the ma'dud? The thing being counted, the person being counted, or whatever, right? The second is, it is mudaf. So the number itself is the mudaf. So when it comes to the number, it is mudaf as well as it is coming before. Now the ma'dud is mudaf ilayhi, right? If it is mudaf, obviously it will be mudaf ilayhi. So salasatu ikhwatin, arba'atu ikhwatin, sittatu ikhwatin, sab'atu ikhwatin, samaniyatu ikhwatin, sis'atu ikhwatin, right? All are what? Mudaf and mudaf ilayhi. And next thing, it is plural. This is very important, right? Only for 3 to 10 it is plural. Only for 3 to 10. I mean, it is same for 13 to 19. I mean, not 13 to 19. Um, for 23, 29, and so on, because in Arabic we say 20 and then 3. So it's the same. So what we want to know is, it is plural. Only for 3 to 10 it is plural. Rest all from 11 to 19 it is singular mansub. Then 100 and 1000 it is singular majroor, right? For 100 and 1000. But for 3 to 10 it is plural. It is plural. And the very important thing is, the gender is opposite. So if this is masculine, right, this is all masculine. How do we know? Because ikhwa is masculine, this is feminine, and this is feminine, this is masculine, right? This is masculine, these are the masculine. So the gender should also be opposite in gender. So there are so many rules for us to consider for writing a number, right? From 1 to 2 it should be an adjective. Gender will be the same in 1 to 2. 3 to 10, gender is opposite the number other than madud. Mudaf and mudaf relationship, right? That's it. Yeah. And the madud should be plural. 3 brothers, 4 brothers, right? And so on. Okay. So how does it change? Oh, you just make it, instead of one dhamma, we'll make it one kasra. Fi salasati ikhwatin, or min salasati ikhwatin. That's it. Min salasi. Like normal mudaf and mudaf ilayh. That's what we do, right? Kitabullahi fi kitabillahi. Okay. Shall. Right? That's how, normally how do we do? That's what we do. So these are the rules for numbers 1 to 10, which we should be very careful about. Numbers 1 to 10, right? We should be very careful. First rule, number 1 and 2 are totally separate. They will come as the adjective, right? Second rule is what? From numbers 3 to 10, we have to look into so many things. While first, the number will be coming before. Second, the number should be in opposite in gender. Then the ma'dud should be plural. Then they should form mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Almost 4 to 5 rules we should be careful of to make a number, right? To count something from 3 to 10. 3 to 10, right? For mudaf and mudaf ilayh, number coming before, opposite in gender, right? And the ma'dud should be plural. Akhawatin. See, this is what it is, right? Inshallah. In book 2 we will learn lesson numbers 11 to 99. 11 to 19 first, right? Inshallah. And the other numbers also. It's not important to learn numbers. It's not so important, but still we should know, try to, because numbers come a lot in the Quran also, right? Inshallah. Right? So these are the numbers. Next two things are some grammatical analysis, diptodes, and right, diptode, and types of khabar. That's it. 4 slides we've got to cover. 1, case endings for singular, dual, and sound plural. That's the next topic of ours. Case endings. So what are the case endings? For a singular word, the case endings are simple, right? You look at the dhamma, you look at the fatha, you look at the kasra, right? Marfu, majrur, and mansub, right? Alamatul raf, what is the sign of being raf? 2 dhammas. What is the sign of being nasb? 2 fatha, 1 fatha, 2 fatha, whatever, right? And 2 kasras here, right? Kasra here. So that's the sign of being. For feminine also, muslimatun, muslimatan, muslimatan. So we are very sure about these, right? We are very sure. It's like dun, dan, din, right? Muhammadun, muhammadan, muhammadin. Muslimatun, muslimatan, muslimatin. Very easy for finding marfu, mansub, and majrur. But when we come to duals, how do we make dual? We add ani, muslimani. So what is the sign of it being marfu here? Because we don't have dhamma fatha kasra here. I mean, we have kasra, of course, but that doesn't make it majrur. No, we look at something else now. It's called secondary endings. We'll learn in book 3, lesson 1, inshallah. This is called an alif. We look at the alif, secondary endings. Alamatul far'iyya, it is called. Right? Secondary endings. Muslimani. Because this is madfu because of this alif. So ani gets changed into aini and ani, muslimaini. So when it is mansoob, what happens? We put a ya and put a ya here. Muslimaini and muslimaini. So muslimani, muslimaini, muslimaini. So how do we do? So both are same. So how do we know which is mansoob and which is majrur? We look at the agents coming before, the agents. Like if you have a preposition before, or it is mudaf and mudaf ilayh, we know it is majrur. Or we know if inna comes, or so many reasons for why it is mansoob. Like we look at the amil, it's called the agents, right? So ani becomes aini aini. Similarly here, muslimatani, ani becomes aini aini also. Muslimatani, muslimataini, muslimataini. Right? So what is the alama of being marfu here? The alif is the alama. Here the ya and the ya. Similarly here also the alif, not the dhamma fatha kasra. No, we look at the alifs in duals. Here also it is ya. Here also it is ya. Right. Next thing, for plurals also the wow, muslimuna, una becomes ina and ina. Right. We don't look at dhamma muslimuna or dhamma should come. No, wow is the symbol of being marfu. What is the alamatul rafa? Wow, al wow. What is the alamatul nasb, the sign of being mansub? It is the ya again, muslimina. And here also it is the ya. Right? It is the ya, wow and ya and ya. Right? This is how it is. Similarly, here it is something else again. Muslimatun, the marfu is dhamma here, fine. But here it doesn't take fatha. So it is both kasra. Muslimatin, muslimatin. This is jama muannas salim, right? Jama muannas salim. So this is kasra, this is kasra. That's how it is. Muslimatun, muslimatin, muslimatin. So duals is ani, aini, aini, una, ina, ina, and this is atun, atin, atin. That's how we can remember. Here it is un and in. I mean, no, dun, dan, din. Right? Muhammadun, Muhammadan, Muhammadin. For marfu, mansub, and majrur. And there are several other endings also, like abun and akhun we learned a little bit. There, the marfu is with waw, alif, and ya. Why? Right? With a ya. And mansub is with alif and majrur is with ya. So there are some secondary endings through which we know the cases, because learning the cases helps us to determine the function in the sentence, right? What the function it plays in the sentence. That's what it helps us to tell us, right? If this is wow and this is why alif and this all, it tells you, okay, this is marfu, so this should be the subject of the sentence, and if it is mansub, it's the object of the verb, and so on. Right? These cases are what tells us the story behind all the words going on. The meaning is derived from the cases. If it's marfu, mansub, and majrur. So this is little important because for duals and plurals, because many people get confused. Oh, where's the we have kasra here? Oh, then this is majrur. No, 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 no. This is duals. Duals, we don't look at fatha dhamma kasras. We look at the alifs. So this is alif is there, marfu. Ya is there, or it is mansub or majrur. Hmm? Similarly here, oh, fatha is there, it's mansub. No, it is not mansub. It is wow. Wow is the symbol here, right? It is marfu. Similarly here, the ya is the symbol here, right? Mansub or majrur. And similarly here, muslimatun, muslimatin, muslimatin. We look at the kasras, right? This kasra doesn't mean it is majrur all the time, right? It could be mansub also. Inshallah. So this is what the case endings for singular, dual, and plural. Case endings for singular, dual, and plural. Then he did of lesson 21, chapter 21 analysis little bit, and we did this analysis before. Right? We can just do it quickly. When we were doing the chapter of 21, he said, Hazi madrasati. Hazi is mubtada, madrasati, khabarun wa huwa mudaf, and this is the mudaf, and this is mudaf ilayhi. Hiya is the mubtada, this is the khabar, min al masjid jar majroor. Hiya is the, very simple, right? Madrasa is khabar. I mean, we did this when you did. This is the mubtada and khabar. What is kabila? This is the naat, laha, jar majroor, shibu jumla, khabar muqaddam. And this is again the mubtada because it is coming late. Laha salasatu abwabin. This is the mubtada. This is the khabar. And similarly, abwabuha maftuhatun al. This is the mubtada. This is khabar coming first. Right, to analyze, we did this already. Fil madrasati. This is the khabar coming first again. Usulun mubtada muakhar, and this is not, and this is mubtada. This is khabar wa huwa mudaf and mudaf ilayhi, and this is the khabar mubtada khabar and not coming here. So this is just a little bit of analysis. We can go through this and we can go back to the lesson if you're confused about this, right? But this is again is not required. No, please don't get into the analysis and worry yourself, right? And say that, oh, I'm not able to do the analysis. No need to. We just learn so that the advanced stuff also, so that it helps us to get the easy stuff. And it's just shooting for the stars so that at least we'll reach the trees, right? That's how it works, right? Because if we just aim for the trees, then we'll go nowhere, right? I mean, we learn the advanced stuff because the easier stuff becomes easy. I mean, that's how it is, right? If you just learn the easy stuff, then the easy stuff becomes the hard stuff because you don't have anything else to progress. Alhamdulillah, it's fun. Yes, alhamdulillah, it's really fun. I hope it is fun for everyone else also. Inshallah. Right, inshallah, to do analysis. And someday, inshallah, we will do, in tafsir also, we will start doing the analysis, inshallah. And there also we can understand what's happening, and why the sentence was framed like that. Yeah, why the verse was framed like that. When we do on Tuesdays, inshallah, we'll try to analyze this verses also, inshallah, so that we understand maybe not everything, just a little bit, the Arab. Because there are thousands of ways of framing a sentence, but why did Allah choose that way, right? Like iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. He could have said na'buduka. That's fine. Na'buduka means we worship you. It's the same thing. But he said na'buduka. The ka, he brought it front. And there's a rule that when it is mansub, you have to bring iyya also. We learn in book 3, inshallah. So iyya, because we cannot, and something should be attached to the attached pronoun, right? So we add iyya if it is mansub. So iyyaka na'budu, to stress on the fact that it is no one but you we worship, right? We worship only you. And iyyaka wa iyyaka nasta'in, and it is no one but you we ask for help. And we don't ask anyone else. So it is stressing. He brought the object first, the maf'ulun bihi first. That is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Iyyaka na'budu. Because na'buduka is also fine to say, right? It's correct way to sing. But he brought the iyyaka na'budu to stress on the fact that it is you we worship, right? So it's not like that the Quran was just framed without any, because it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who framed all the sentences and said it, right? To Jibreel alayhi salam. That's what we believe, right? He said it. And then Jibreel alayhi salam brought it to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So imagine Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying and then bring it to Jibreel alayhi salam. So it should be perfect, right? The Quran is perfect because it's the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Mamnu min Sarf, the last topic of the day. I mean, after this, we have types of khabar also. At Mamnu min Sarf, we learned this also. Ismul Mudiri Ibrahimu, no tanween, right? So some names and some types of plurals don't take tanween. Zahabtu ila Ibrahima, right? So even if it is majroor, it takes a fatha. So no kasras and no tanweens, right? Like ila Muhammadin, this is normally done. But for this, no tanween and no kasras. Even if it is majroor, it takes a fatha. Right? This is also a secondary ending. Why do we do this? I mean, that's how Arabs spoke. They give fatha, and these are called dip totes. They're not trip totes like taking kasras and stuff. They take only two endings. That's why I call dip. Dip is like dual endings. Dip totes, not trip totes. And these are the following groups of nouns, and we learned in the last lesson I think. One, feminine proper nouns like Zainab, Khadija, Makkah, Jahannam, right? They are feminine proper nouns. Second, masculine proper nouns also which look like feminine, right? With tamal buta, like Hamzatu, Talhatu, Usamatu, Khalifatu, and so on. And they are masculine but they look like feminine. Then masculine with ending with anu. Anu. Sufyanu, Ramadanu, Madwanu, Uthmanu. Right? Anu names. Then fa'alanu pattern, adjectives on the pattern of fa'alanu. Same like names, but these are adjectives. Like kaslanu, lazy, mal'anu, filled, ghadbanu, angry, atshan, thirsty. Then masculine proper nouns on the pattern of af'alu, which is ahmadu, akbaru, anwaru, asgharu. Right? And adjectives on the pattern of afalu. Right? These are names, Ahmad, Akbar. These are colors now. Right? Adjectives like colors or so on. Ahmar, Abyad, Aswad, Akhdar. Right? Red, black, and white, and green. Non-Arabic names, foreign names. Ibrahimu, Williamu, Baghdadu, Pakistanu. And 4 types. Actually 6 types, but he gave 4. Af'ilau, fa'alau, mafa'ilu, mafa'ilu. These patterns also do not take tanween, and they are diptodes like asdiqa, aghniya, aqwiya, awliya, zumala, fuqara, wuzara, right? Masajidu, madarisu, makatibu, fawakihu, hadaiqu, manadilu, and so on. Fanajilu, mafatihu. These are similar, mafa'ilu and mafa'ilu, and this is af'ilau and fu'alau. And we have an example from the Quran: Ibrahimu, Ismailu, ala Ibrahima, right? Fir'aunu, ila Fir'auna, Jahannamu, ila Jahannama. We did this while we were doing the lesson also. The last thing is types of khabar. Khabar, anwa'ul khabar. Generally, mubtada is only one word. We have mubtadas as only one word, but when it comes to the khabar could be one word like jadidun, talibun, Qur'anu, kitabullah. So when it is one word, then it is always marfu. And khabar can be indefinite or definite, but mostly it is indefinite, right? Khabar 90% of the time it is nakira. So one word it is. Then it could be a phrase. The 2 types of phrases we learned, the prepositional phrase and adverbial phrase. It could be a prepositional phrase, alal maktabi, fil masjidi, lillahi, right? A shibhu jumla. And the second is it could be adverb. The adverb itself is the khabar. Tahta, amama, right? This is also a phrase. Inda, right? So this is what it is. A phrase. So he gave a star. A shibu jumla is either jar majrur or zarf. There are 2 types of shibu jumla. That's it. Either it is preposition, shibu jumla, phrase, or adverbial. In a nominal sentence, shibu jumla will always be khabar. Right? Nominal sentence. Never the jar majrur or the zarf can ever be the mubtada. Even though it might begin, the sentence might begin, it is never the mubtada. Right? Fil baiti rajulun, amam al baiti hadiqatun, and so on. And shibu jumla is applied only when it comes as a khabar in a nominal sentence. Right? If this kind of phrase comes in a verbal sentence, right? If it comes in a verbal sentence, it is not called shibu jumla. It is not called a phrase. Why? Because in a verbal sentence, it is called muta'alliq, or it could either be called as a jar majrur or only a zarf. Like for example, jalas al waladu tahta shajarati. Here it is zarf. That's it. We don't say it is shibu jumla. No. Zahaba bilalun ilal masjidi. So ilal masjidi is just jar majrur. We don't say it is shibu jumla. Because anytime you have to say shibu jumla, then you have to say it is khabar. Alright? And mubtada and khabar is only called in the ismiya, not in fi'liya. Okay, so this is phrase. Now a whole sentence can also come as a khabar, like Hamidun akhuhu tabibun. See, this is the mubtada. This is the whole. This is very confusing for many of us, right? Akhuhu tabibun. His brother is a doctor. Right? This akhuhu tabibun is a whole sentence here coming as a khabar now, right? Fatimatu indaha sayaratun. Again, this indaha sayara is a whole sentence. Laha tiflun saghirun. Zainab laha tiflun saghirun. Zainab has a small child. This is not actually used in English so much because it's weird in English to say Hamid, his brother is a doctor. We use a comma or something. Fatima, she has a car. We have to use a comma, but we don't say that. Fatima has a car. That's how we say it. Right? Zainab, she has a small child. Right? We don't say that in English so much. We can say actually. Hamid, comma, his brother is a doctor. Full stop. Right? We can say, but we don't, I think. So, but this is fine in Arabic, and this is totally correct. And this is a jumla ismiya coming, and jumla fi'aliya can also come as a khabar. Like Bilalun kharaja min al-fasl. So where's the mubtada? This is the mubtada. Where's the khabar? This is the whole is the khabar. And again, in this small sentence here, Jumla Ismiya, where is the mubtada for the second, for this small sentence? Akhu is the mubtada and Tabibun is the khabar. Right? We analyze this also. And Indaha, this is the mubtada and Inda is the khabar because this is the zarf, right? It can never be the mubtada. And where is the mubtada here? This is the mubtada and Laha is the khabar. And what is this doing here? This is the Naat. Similarly here, Kharaja, this is Jumla Failure. Then we can analyze further. Kharaja is the fail, where's the file, mustatir, and minal fasli is called the muta'alliq, jar majrur. Aminatu zahabat ila madrasa. So where's the file here? So this is the mubtada and this is the whole khabar. Then again in this is the verb and where's the file, mustatir, and ila madrasa is the muta'alliq. Or you can say jar majrur also. Hamidun, this is the mubtada again, jalasa ala al-kursi, Hamid sat on the chair. So this is the khabar. And where's the file? File is again mustatir, hidden, because the file should always come later on, right? It can never be before. In English, it doesn't make sense. I mean, Hamidun Jalasa or Jalasa Hamidun, both are Hamid sat. We can never say in English sat Hamid. We can never say that, right? Sat Hamid is not fine, but in Arabic, it's fine to say anything is fine. But if you start with the verb, it becomes a verbal sentence. If you start with a noun, it becomes a nominal sentence, right? So we have to be careful with that. So where's the file here? Jalasa, it is mustatir. But many scholars, because the verb itself is a sentence. Okay, we should understand that. The verb itself is a sentence. Oh, we are talking about types of khabar. We're talking about types of khabar. The khabar is a sentence coming as the khabar for the jumla ismiya. Right? This whole is a jumla ismiya, correct? But what is the khabar? The khabar is a jumla fi'liya. That's what you're talking about. Right? The predicate we're talking about, the predicate is a jumla fi'liya. This is what you're talking about. Anwa'ul khabar. Yeah. This is a jumla ismiya, fine. But the khabar is jumla fi'liya. Right? So we're talking about 5 types of khabar. And we should be very careful. One is a word. There are 2 phrases and 2 sentences. Right? 2 phrases and 2 sentences to say that this is the khabar. Okay, that's it. For book 1, we've covered everything in 4 classes. Right? In 4 classes, we've covered everything of book 1. And we won't go so much now into the nominal sentence for book 2, because book 2 is all about verbs. And it is a different ball game too, totally. Right? We are concerned about verbs, the cases of verbs. Mustashfa. No, it is not a diptode. It is not a diptode. It is actually, it's called manqus, which we'll learn in the future, inshallah, in book 3, lesson 1, inshallah. The type of it, he brings a lot of that, like Layla, Musa, Isa, the ones which end with alif maksura, because actually there should have been Musayun. So they are kind of, we can understand that they're diptodes because they don't take tanwins, right? But they don't take kasras either. I mean, they don't take fathas either. They always remain mustashfa as mustashfa itself. And they are not mabni also. So they're like weird, separate type of nouns. We don't say fil mustashfa, innal mustashfa. I mean, it doesn't have fatha either. Mustashfa, and those are separate. There we use a quote called dammatun muqaddara or fathatun muqaddara or kasratun muqaddara, right? We go into that case, inshallah. Book 3, yes, that's a long way to go. Book 3 is a long way to go, inshallah. 2020 is our goal, inshallah. Yeah, we cannot understand that now. I mean, we can, but still, we should not jump the gun, inshallah, to understand everything as of now, because everything requires the hoops, inshallah ta'ala. The next goal is book 2, of course, but let's see how many pages before we go to book 2. This is done, alhamdulillah. All right, this is done. Let me open book 2, book 1 key. Book 1 key. Oh, we have 30 pages. Inshallah, we can do those. What does this help in? This what does this key understand? Key helps you in. It's just the same thing again, but it is a more lesson by lesson, right? It helps us to revise lesson by lesson, right? Lesson 11, lesson 12. You have 30 pages to go, inshallah. I hope to. I'll go very fast for this. Just one class for this because we've already done a lot in book 1 revision. But still, I want to do this so that we have a complete, you know, complete. We already did till lesson the 30 pages for lesson unit 1 to 10, and the lesson 1 to 10. Inshallah, we will continue from lesson 11 to 23, just 13 lessons to go, and we'll just read it because we've already gone through it a lot. Fihi, fiha, and so on. Uhibbu, and I mean everything we've got. What is the difference between a handout and a key? Oh, handouts just teach you what the grammar is, but the key, what it does is it key is like additional supplement to the textbook. Key is tells you in this lesson what is happening. It shows you like there's no I mean, yeah, that's what is happening in this specific lesson. It doesn't give you all the grammar at all. In the handout you'll find the total grammar in one place. I mean, when they talk about mamnu minasa, they'll just give you that, but it came in the textbook in 2 lessons, right? So key helps us to understand one lesson at a time, right? And this is a supplement for when we are doing the lesson, right? Oh, we are learning this in this lesson, now this in lesson. Handouts just give you the total stuff, yeah, the total grammar, totally. And there are several other handouts also which I didn't touch, but I have them here. Let me just show you. Okay, maybe they are, yeah, handout book 1, yeah, they're here also, right? This is another LQ Toronto handouts, right? The parts of speech handout here, pronoun and stuff, Arabic alphabet here. We could go through these also. Endings, nominal sentence, cases exercise. He gave an exercise for sadiqun, sadiqan, sadiqan, sadiqatun, sadiqatan, and we can fill this out for those verbs also. He gave all of them here, right? All types of verbs here of all the forms, paradigms. Inshallah, I mean, we could use this actually. We didn't learn this paradigms in Madina. I think I didn't teach it. Right, the different paradigms. These are the six abwabs, 6 babs. Bab Nasara, Daraba, Fataha, Karuma, Samia, Hasiva. Inshallah, we learn in book 2 about these babs. Then Jar Majur in the Quran, he gave some handout here. Then pronouns, okay. Pronouns, okay. Pronouns, Mudaf, Mudaf in the Quran. He gave examples, phrases, 2 phrases, Jar Majur, Zarf, adjectives, right? Nominal sentences from the Quran, broken plurals, and all these numbers, types of khabar, right? 5 types of khabar, right? So I think from all of these, the important one would be this. This is kind of important because it just helps us to solidify all these things, right? While the key is just lesson by lesson, sequence by sequence. We'll just read it, not much, because we've already spent a lot of time. I don't want so much focus on, we did already give so much focus, but alhamdulillah, that's good, because we'll never come back to book 1 again. And in book 2, it's a total different story. It's not totally different, but we learn so many new things. I mean, learning book 1 itself is like we learned so many things, but it's nothing. It's just 10 to 15% of the language. And once we reach book 2, half of it, you'll realize, inshallah, that, oh, we didn't learn anything at all in book 1. That's how I felt. Right? I mean, book 1, what is book 1 now? It's so easy. Book 2 is so hard now. When you finish book 2 and reach book 3 half or something, then we realize, oh, book 3 is so huge. When will it get over? Right? That's what the other batch I have, book 3, it's never ending at all. I mean, like 18th lesson now, and there are like 33 lessons totally. And it's not ending. It's just going on and on and on and on and on. Inshallah. But inshallah, our goal is to finish it any day, anytime. Inshallah, jazakallah khair. Let's see you in the next week. Next week we'll try to read this again, just for so that we just wrap it totally, seal book one, and finish it off. Khalas, never to come back again. Right? I mean, we repeated it so many times. Right? So many things I've repeated them so many times, inshallah. So that many people don't do that. They don't repeat it at all, but we repeated them so many times, all the rules and stuff, and here and there and that, right? Mudaf, mudaf ilayhi, this and that, so that book 2 becomes a little easier when we go into book 2, because many people, they don't have book 1 perfect, not perfect maybe, but have a good grasp on book 1, and then they want to do book 2. But even then, people who have little grasp on book 1, still if they do book 2, inshallah, it'll become solidified, because that's what I say, because you don't get a grip just by finishing one book, right? When you go to book 2, when you come to half of book 2, as I said, book 1 will become easier, because he repeats those rules again and again and again. And inshallah, even I'll try to repeat all the rules again and again and again, and I'll tell, like, oh, we learned in book 1 this lesson, we learned in book 1 this lesson, we learned in this lesson, right? Inshallah, because inshallah, yeah, inshallah. No, it's okay to forget. It's okay to forget the rules and stuff, right? Inshallah. But we should keep going ahead, is what I'm telling, because 100% of all the rules, nobody can remember. Please, nobody wants to remember all the rules, right? We can not remember. Even I forget. Book 3, when I teach, oh, this rule I forgot, right? It's like new to me, totally, because there's so many rules of the language. What we want is 60%, 50 to 60%. We need to pass 40%, maybe 40 to 50% of the rules is what is important, right? Inshallah, because it takes time. It takes time for anyone to get a grasp of it. Right? Jazakallah khair. Then it becomes natural. I mean, you forget the rules also, and you just understand the language. Like in English, right? We learned, I mean, in school we learned all the rules, but I don't know of any rule now, right? I just feel, oh, this sounds weird. Right? We just feel now. This sentence sounds weird in English, right? Like many school children make this mistake. What they do, they put past tense in the questions, right? And it sounds weird, like why did you went, or something like that, right? Why did you went, right? I mean, it sounds weird, but I don't know which rule plays there. I don't know which participle or past participle. I forgot all those past perfect and so on, right? We just know that, oh, it does not why did you went, it's why did you go. That's it. That's how it is. Similarly, Arabic will become like that, right? We just know that it's wrong. It sounds wrong, right? But if right? That's what it happens. It just gets ingrained that sounds wrong. It sounds weird. Why did you went? I mean, why did you? I don't know. They make weird plurals also in English. The students, they make weird plurals like he beated me or something. Yeah, beated me or some weird stuff, because so we just feel it's wrong. Similarly, Arabic also, inshallah, will become like that. Inshallah, even if you're not Hafiz of the Quran, you will know that they're telling it wrong. It sounds weird, right? That'll happen, inshallah, if you keep on studying, inshallah. Jazakallahu khair. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
كانوا قليلا من الليل ما يهجعون وبالأسحار هم يستغفرون